Hi, this is the Alchemist Astrologer, and this is your 2020 yearly outlook for Aries Sun, Aries Rising, and Aries Moon. So, Aries, let's take a look at what you need to leave in the past. This is an attitude or a situation that it's time to let go of. So, you have the Tower card and the Star. So perhaps you have dealt with something where you were challenged. Maybe you've gotten some kind of shocking news. Maybe you have been reaching crisis point. You're dealing with some kind of emergency that may tie to health or healing agencies. And something about your world is turning upside down. Something that felt stable and secure has crumbled for you. You're having to look at something differently. You're being challenged to, forced to, because an agent of change has stepped in. Perhaps providence has played a role in some way. And so for some of you, you're having to leave behind an old way, an old belief system, something that doesn't serve you, something that may have been corrupt, something that wasn't stable, the wrong viewpoint, the wrong attitude, the wrong outlook. And if you waited too late to address it, again, you may have hit the wall, you may have hit crisis point, where now you're coming into an awakening of some sort because of it. So it could have been a move, it could have been a change of residence, a change of job, changing your relationship. For some of you, you need to leave arguing behind you, confrontation, the tendency to rebel in ways that are negative. And this may tie to your friendships. For some of you, maybe you have a strong tie to an Aquarius person, or perhaps this is something connected to a young woman in your life. You need to leave something behind where there was some kind of disturbance, and maybe you need to have more hope for the future. Perhaps that's all you have right now. You're leaning on your hope. And you know that you're in some kind of transition because you have all of this upheaval in your life. So it's time to do something different. But you need to also make sure that your faith is well placed. Now, for some of you, something may have been suddenly exposed, or you feel exposed, you feel vulnerable due to this unstable circumstance. So it's time for you to move in a new direction. You're going to have to release and let go of something that doesn't serve you and look toward a brighter future. For some of you, maybe you're dealing with something that suddenly thrusts you in as, the center of attention. Maybe you're suddenly an overnight sensation, an overnight star, and you're having difficulty dealing with that. Or you're being pressured into doing something that makes you feel vulnerable, open, exposed. So you're going to have to, this may even connect to the past in some way, your memories. It could be, again, relationships that were unstable, that were confrontational, where there's been some shock or trauma or crisis associated with that. So you're having to let go of attitudes or situations that no longer serve and leave those in the past. Now, what is it that you need to let go of in the future? You have this Seven of Pentacles and the Death card. So perhaps, you need to stop waiting to make these important changes for transformation. You need to let go of a mindset, a resentment, or an ideal or other situation if you want to achieve your outcome. So you're going to have to make important decisions. Maybe you've been waiting to make that decision. You're taking stock of your investment. Now, you may be waiting for a large sum of money. Maybe you're waiting on an inheritance. Maybe you're waiting to have surgery. Maybe you're waiting to have sex. But there's some transformational change taking place where you're going to have to take stock. You're going to have to look at perhaps how much effort you're putting into something, your time, your money, your emotion, your energy, and what is the return? Are you putting in too little, not doing enough, doing too much, not getting the return? Is it slow? You're taking stock of your pursuits, your endeavors, and you're having to make a decision about the release of something, perhaps surrendering to this change, because this is something that you can't get away from. This is a major card. It's profound, and it makes way for a rebirth, a regeneration. So for some of you, this may be, you're taking stock of a situation. Maybe it's tied to debt or shared assets, or being intimate with others in a deep, profound way, or perhaps having some kind of psychological breakthrough, or, taking stock of, are you living life on the edge, one crisis after another? So there's some change that needs to take place. This card says that you have the ability to do that. Your survival instincts are kicking in, the will to live and to thrive. And so you're having to reinvent yourself. And you need to move forward. This Tower card says you can't hesitate, because if you hesitate, then outside forces are going to step in and make the changes for you. And the Death card, not regenerating, will lead to some form of stagnancy, where you're just waiting and waiting and waiting and taking stock. But you're also going to have patience. This is a process in order to rebirth in a new form. Now, you do have the possibility to change your circumstances for the better if you're ready to take a different approach. Now, what is it that you need to take from the past? What past mindset or quality that you've had over the past year or your past life that is working for you that you should continue to leverage in the future? You have the Page of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups. So you've gotten some new awareness due to some unsettling circumstances, and you need to take stock. You're aware that you need to make some profound change in your life. And you're working on that. You're making some plans. Maybe this is about your education. Maybe it's the start of trying to make some money or plant some seeds that would provide some emotional stability for you. But it's also plans to move on from situations that don't serve you. Again, maybe there's a job offer, maybe you're relocating, maybe there's a new relationship. You're looking toward the future, and you're having to have the courage to move forward whether you see the outcome or not. So you're moving in uncertainty, but you've made a conscious decision that you want to be in control, that you want to steer your destiny. You don't want to be caught off guard by a situation that is beyond your control. You're seeking some freedom. And perhaps from the past memories, past karma, family conditioning, patterns, it's time to regenerate. It's time to make plans, to plant the seeds for new opportunities, and to walk away from things that don't serve you. For some of you, if this is about health, maybe you're getting a wake-up call. You need to exercise. You need, to do some walking, or you need to pay attention to your health. If you're in a negative relationship, it's time for you to stop feeling that sense of pain and disappointment related to the past and make the changes that you need to. It's likely that some revelation has come to you, perhaps through shock or crisis, but you are seeing something that you didn't see before that provides that opening for you to walk away towards something better. Again, you don't have to know exactly where that final destination is. You just have to move and go with the flow. What is it that you need to use in the future? What is a past or current gift or a mindset that you need to play up in the future to help you achieve your desired ends? You have this Nine of Swords and the Queen of Wands. So for some of you, it's perhaps getting a hold of your wild imagination, not letting your fears, your anxieties run away from you. The Queen of Wands, maybe you're in touch with another fire sign person. Maybe this is representing you. Could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, arising, male or female. This is a queen who uses her magnetism, her social connections, her intuition to make decisions. She's very concerned about her family, her friends. She's passionate about her interests. And there's a desire to wield your influence, to steer matters your way, and perhaps you have some anxiety about that. Or you're anxious to do that. You're anxious to promote yourself. You're anxious to move forward on something that you're passionate about. The Nine of Swords, if you have any fears, these could be unfounded fears. Or if you're ill, this is about taking charge of that situation and doing what you must. You may feel that you have limited options, or maybe you're worried about someone connected to you in your life and the choices that they're making. But this is about you understanding your role, the role of others, allowing others to be who they are, and claiming that same freedom and independence for yourself. So, while you may not have a lot of options, you do have them. Although they may be limited, there are some things that you haven't considered thus far because you've been blocking it due to your pride, or maybe you're no longer objective. You let your passion or your ego get in the way. Maybe it just didn't come to you. So there are some other options that you need to consider. And you may be getting some information, some messages from some hidden sources. It could be that you're tapping into your intuition. Maybe you're getting in touch with your spirit guides. Again, you're using your intuition, and maybe you're getting some information through your dreams that allow you to make decisions that guide your choices for you. It could also be that you know how to subtly will your influence. Maybe you don't have to come right out and say something. You know how to manipulate a situation in a positive way to achieve the desired outcome that you want. Now, what is the big lesson for you in 2020, Aries? You have the Emperor card, so you're showing up for yourself. And so you have lessons that tie to your destiny. And if I were you, I'd take a look at which house the sun is in, because that is an area of your life that you're going to need to master in order to fulfill your destiny. For some of you, this is, a connection to strong male figures. It could be a father figure, an authority figure. This is also your own authority, your own personal power. This is going to be a year where you're going to be asked to take on more responsibility for yourself, more demands. You may be put in charge of something. You may be playing a larger role with regard to something, and you're perfectly willing to do that because, again, you want to chart your own course. And this could be a stressful year, or it could be you're closing out a stressful chapter in your life. But this is about claiming your personal power, using your leadership skills, building on something that gives you some lasting security. There may be an important project that you're connected to, or you may have some real estate concerns, or your own business, or moving up the ladder of success. But you want some kind of stability, and it's going to bring up a lot of emotion in you this year. And you're going to find yourself going after what you want, being very assertive, being very direct. You're going to tell it like it is, put it out there, or you're being challenged to do that. So this is a year where you're focused on stability, building structure in your life, putting a solid foundation in place, and speaking your truth. And you're looking at where and how power is being used. For some of you, it may be a year where you have to grow up, or you may have to face the music. You may have to deal with the consequences of your choices. You may be dealing with the abuse of authority in some way. So it's about leadership, your own personal power. And the question that you need to continuously ask yourself again and again this year is, where am I called to use my voice right now? And again, that's powerful. Being very direct, being assertive, speaking your truth in a positive way that not only builds a foundation for you, but empowers other people as well. So you have a soul script that was written to be spoken. Your story matters, and it's time for you to share it with the world. So your soul action this year is to share your story. Be brave and speak your truth. Your voice will be the catalyst for healing in others. And connected to that, seriously, so for some of you, again, you're dealing with situations that seem perhaps ridiculous. Maybe they're shocking. Maybe you know, a lot of things crumble beneath you, but you're ready to take on the demands and the challenge of rebuilding, regenerating, reviving, restoring, repairing. Now, your advice card is the presence of love will always cast out fear. So again, in spite of whatever challenge or crisis or trauma that you're facing, you have the power within you to take that on. And especially when you do it in the place of love. Now you have this other card, the Andean Cross. And let me see. Let's see what the meaning is for that card. So the Andean Cross represents the cosmology of the shaman. It depicts the four cardinal directions, the upper and lower worlds, and the steps to reach these realms. The hole in the center is a gateway to interdimensional travel, the proverbial eye of the needle we can all go through to experience higher states of awareness and wisdom, and to break free of linear time. The invitation is that the Andean Cross announces the start to a great journey. It's time to raise your gaze from the mundane day-to-day to that which, until now, has seemed beyond your grasp. Allow your new wisdom to guide you, and stop trying to make sense of it all before you respond with a resounding yes. So that really plays up to this Eight of Cups card. You know, not knowing exactly where you're going, but you know you don't like where you've been, and you're looking for better possibilities. You're breaking free of something in order to reinvent yourself. Now, the underlying energy is this Temperance card. So again, for some of you, there's a strong tie to a Sagittarius this year. But for others of you, this is about healing, using your voice, your story, as a healing tool. You may be coming in contact with healers. It's about looking at your connections and whether it's time to part ways in some instances, whether you're compatible. And this is going to be a year where you have to test the waters. You're dipping your toe in, proverbially. And for some of you, it's again about procrastination, waiting too long. The Temperance card is very direct, or should be. This is about speaking your truth. So you have a strong message here about walking away from things that don't serve you. You know, taking stock of situations to see where you've been putting your time and energy and whether it's the right thing for you, and doing some healing and recognizing the splendor of yourself and others, not just on the outside, but that inner beauty as well. All right, Aries, I hope you have a fantastic year this year, so good luck with 2020.